The same thing. We'll do the same exercise with wide receivers. I would argue Browns need some playmakers. Wide receiver, we know you got McMillan and Ibuka, that are probably mid. McMillan will be early, but Ibuka's probably late first round. Who are some guys in that third, fourth round range again that you like, that you think could really end up doing well in the NFL?
Yeah, so I know I mentioned an Oregon player before, but I think if we're looking at wide receivers in that third round range, it's probably another Oregon player that stands out. Wide receiver Tez Johnson would be the one for me. He's in that consensus 80-ish range right now as well, though he might move up. We'll see. But definitely, like, he's a smaller wide receiver, maybe more suited for the slot. That's what he was in college, and I think with Elijah Moore departing in free agency, most likely, he played a ton in the slot for the Browns last season. I think Johnson could potentially fill that role. He posted an 89th percentile career yards per route run among wide receiver prospects since 2019. And I mentioned he's smaller, only about 5'10, 165 pounds, but didn't show any issues kind of getting off press. He was 89th percentile yards per route run versus press coverage for his college career. Really strong separator as well. And making guys miss in the open field is a part of his game. He owns a 90th percentile career yards after the catch per reception mark. So I think he could be, if we're looking at the most optimistic version, I like Tank Dell-esque, if we're talking about like optimal outcomes for a player that size, and I think could fill a need for the Browns in the slot if he works out.
Yeah, you mentioned Dell. He's kind of a guy that's opened up the smaller wide receiver because, he's been hurt both of the years he's been in the league. But when he's been healthy, he's been effective and a threat.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's been really, really effective. And that was his calling card being, coming out of college too, really productive. And I think Tez Johnson, that kind of opens things up for him a little bit because you don't see a lot of wide receivers that weight range of 165 entering into the NFL draft or getting drafted highly. So him being in that consensus 80-ish range right now, I think is promising and speaks a lot to his skill set.